So many of you who are in the warehouse work, I know how it is for you, man. I know how it is for you. You're paid hourly. You have to work overtime for you to really get to the bag, right? The management doesn't look at you the same way as they look at their kids, right? They look down upon you. It's a lot of work. You may have to drive a forklift. You may have to lift heavy equipment, heavy boxes. You have to pick. Your fingernails get dirty. You get paper cuts. How do I know this stuff? I know this stuff because I'm in the supply chain logistics space. I grew up in warehouses and distribution centers. So I see and I've seen how people interact inside a distribution center, a warehouse distribution center. I've seen it. And I have colleagues, Brother Jared, who I'm going to be talking to later today, who's been in the supply chain warehouse logistics industry for a long time. And he's tired of dealing with people like this, hourly people, hourly wages. Good people, great people. But it's time for you guys to go into tech. Why? Because you're hurting yourselves. You're hurting yourselves. You are hurting yourselves. My brother Jared's in the house. There he is. Brother Jared's in the house. Jared and I are going to be chopping it up a little bit later today. And I'm going to tell you like this. Jared and myself, we are in the warehouse distribution arena. Jared's a brilliant guy. Living in Atlanta, from the Carolinas. And let me tell you about this guy. He's done it all. He's done it all, and he could do more. But when you're dealing with hourly employees and so forth, you get tired of it because there's a lot of turnover. There's a lot of turnover, especially in the job market that we're in today. Okay? Especially in the job market that we're in today. It's been like that for a long time. But now I'm talking to the workers. Management just ain't fed up. You should be fed up of having to work in these types of roles, where there isn't much of a path forward for you. You need to look at getting into tech. Why? Well, I'm going to tell you why right now. You need to look at getting into tech. Why? I'm going to tell you why right now. Let's get to it, guys. Let's get to it. Okay. Amazon workers and their warehouse workers, they suffer muscle and joint injuries at a rate 4 times higher than industry peers. Guys, you are breaking your back literally.
Damn!
Guys, you working and lifting these physical boxes, by the time that you're 40, if you started off in your 20s or your 18s and your teens, whatever it is, you're hurt. Many of you are out of work for days, hundreds of days. Musculoskeletal injuries. You're hurt. You have to be out of work for 100+ days. Unemployment. You aren't getting paid a lot of money. You're hurting yourself physically, and you're hurting yourself economically as well too. You gotta get your skills, guys. You gotta get your skills. Boot camps, education, community college, 4-year college. You got to get into tech. Otherwise, you're going to be walking around here like an old man, looking like an old man before you are an old man, feeling like an old man before you are an old man. All right, musculoskeletal disorders like strains, sprains, and carpal tunnel are Amazon's most common injuries. Data compiled by Washington State's workplace safety regulator reviews a more nuanced understanding than has previously been reported of the types of injuries making up Amazon workplace safety crisis. Okay, you picking boxes, lifting pallets, getting paper cuts, bleeding over boxes, having to deliver that stuff, throwing heavy boxes on my doorstep because I have something from Amazon come almost every day. It's hurting you, man. Your back's hurt. Your fingers are hurt. You're getting arthritis. You're beating yourself up. Nationwide Amazon workers are twice as likely as other warehouse employees to incur serious injury on the job, federal workplace safety data shows. Washington State's data, though, shows that the bulk of the injury disparity between Amazon and other warehouse employees or employers is the result of a concentration of the musculoskeletal disorders at Amazon warehouses. Musculoskeletal disorders like carpal tunnel, back pain, hernias are the result of the accumulated damage to the muscles, nerves, tendons, joints, cartilage, and spinal discs caused by repetitive movement and physical exertion over time. Guys, you're working like our ancestors had to work when they first came over here. You're working hard and you aren't getting paid that amount of money, a lot of money. Yeah, Amazon is a great employer and they employ a lot of people to make a wage for themselves, but that should not be permanent. That should be in order for you to hold things down over a certain amount of time. That's why you're paid hourly. And then once you're done, or once you've gotten your skills, you can go and do something else. I look at Amazon as a place that you can work while you're in college. No different than working at a place like Home Depot or Menards. Yeah, if you want to make a full-time career of it, then you get into management and so forth. Like our brother Jared, who's making 6 figures plus because he's gone through the ranks and he's a leader and he wants to do more still. But if you seriously think that you just want to work in a distribution and warehouse for the majority of your life and you don't have any goals, any plans to leave that, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're going to be old. You're going to be hurt. You aren't going to be worth a damn. If that's your path, if you don't have a dream, you don't have a vision. Although they are one of the biggest employers in the world outside of Walmart, they work their employers or their employees to death. Why? Because we demand so much from them. 1 hour deliveries, 1 day deliveries, 2 day deliveries. I want my stuff when I order it from off Amazon the same day. You have to work fast if you're working at an Amazon warehouse distribution center. They don't care. That means a lot of the times you aren't warmed up. Just imagine being an athlete and you have to go 100% as soon as you walk into the door. Well, that's Amazon workers. Their expectation is that you get there and you are at 100%. There's no warm-ups. There's no breaks. Oh, there's breaks, but there's no warm-ups to get going as you can ease into your day. You know, I wake up, I drink my little coffee, I'm on my emails, I start to cruise a little bit, get the body warm, you know. Nah, at Amazon, you got to get there. You got to go right away. And what is that causing? That's causing people to overexert, causing people to hurt themselves. And it's not just Amazon, although Amazon, their warehouses and their employees are hurt 4 times more than any other warehouse workers. But it still happens if you are working in this industry and you are doing physical labor. Okay. So between 2015 and 2019, Amazon workers in Washington state were on average 3.85 times as likely to incur a musculoskeletal injury compared to their peers in the state's warehouse sector. The state's analysis showed in that same period, Amazon workers were only 1.2 times as likely as workers in non-Amazon warehouses to get a musculoskeletal injury. For instance, an injury caused by a forklift collision or a fall from a ladder. Guys, you're snapping your legs. My uncle, who's been in the distribution center, he got hit by a forklift, guys. Messed up for the rest of his life. Had to have surgery. Out of work forever. Collecting unemployment, disability. It happens in these distribution centers and warehouses. And if you don't have good lawyers, you aren't going to get the max of what you deserve as well. He got some change couple $100,000, I'm assuming. Had a nice little Lexus, balled out, bought him a house right across the street from grandma. But it's not millions. It's not millions, and is it worth it? So think about it. To meet the promise of 2-day delivery, the high pace of work is pretty consistent throughout the facility. Amazon workers are compelled to move so quickly that when inspectors tried to measure workers' risk of musculoskeletal injuries at Amazon's flagship warehouse in Kent, it broke the model. Guys, you're running. Hamster wheel work. Get in the tech. It's time to really look at your career if you are a warehouse worker and you don't have plans to leave. It's time for you to get into tech and let's get to this money. Get into tech and let's get to this money. Amazon could pay you as a warehouse worker $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, but you're hurting yourselves. You're hurting yourselves. You could be making $100,000 just sitting behind a desk. You can be making $100,000 just sitting behind a desk.
Damn!
All right, guys, I want this for you all. I want you to think about your future if you are in the warehouse work. What is it that you want to do? How much is it that you want to make? And if you don't have a clue, you need to do some research. Research. Tech is a place for every one of you. Tech has a place for every one of you. Everything that exists out there has some form of technology that is around it. And it's for you to find out where your skill sets can fit. And if you can't, you need help, book a coaching session with me. Jump on the Black Heights website. Join the Patreon. If you need some guidance, join the Patreon. Talk to Brother Christian. He's did it. Talk to Brother Josh. He did it. Already an engineer. Decides he wants to go into sales. Easy. Easy. There's people that are doing it daily. I'm doing it. You can talk to me. But my rates are going up. All right, guys, that was the first article. I just wanted to hit this one real quick. Guys, tech is where it's at. Tech is where it's at. And I'm going to tell you like this. You know, what's the point? What's the point of breaking your back, hurting yourself, making $60,000 with no place to go? No dream, no vision. There's no point to it. There's salaries out here where you can be making hundreds of thousands of dollars, changing your family history, changing your family dynamic, changing your lifestyle, giving you exposure to many people, many things. You just have to put in the work. You just have to put in the work. We got Keep It Techie in the house. Keep It Techie just dropped a super chat. Let me do this real quick. Let me get the super chats up.